What's happening, man? This is your man LP, episode 6 of LPs and Books. And tonight we're talking about the late great neighborhood Nip Hustle. You hear me? Neighborhood. That's right. The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle is the book. We're going to tap in. It's your man LP. Let's get it. First and foremost, man, do your man a favor. Please hit the follow button, man. Please hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Share it, all of that good stuff, man. So we can, you know what I'm saying, continue to come right back here and break down a fresh book, man, every week. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it, man. Let's tap into what we're here for, man. And that's the life and times of Nip Hustle. Um the book has been out since March of 2021. Obviously, it's not a memoir, so it's a biography. And one of the beautiful things about these types of biographies is that you're going to get with someone as complex as Nip was, you'll get a lot of knowledge in a whole bunch of different areas. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the first things I liked about the book. But let's take it back. Let's take it back for a second though. So when I started this show, my first episode was on Jay Dilla, the late great Jay Dilla, and this on a book called Dilla Time. Tap into that, man. It's my first episode, so we did the Dilla episode, and then I had some problems here at home for a second. My AC went out for like a week, if you could believe that, in the summer in Atlanta. I was heated, but so I didn't want to do no episode sitting up here sweating. So during that week, I had tapped into a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, right? And that's a book suggested by Nip Hustle. Nip has this list of books that's like floating around on the internet. They'll have like a picture of them, and then they have like 10 books. So Google that and you'll see what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with it. So I had listened to this book right here, the Life and Times of Nipsey, the Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle. I listened to this book like when it first came out, right? Back in 2021. This book has been out since March of 2021. And I probably copped it right around that time. And I listened. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And when I started this show, again, episode 2, I was into the 22 immutable laws. But I was like, that don't make sense. I might as well set this up by doing, an episode on the Nip book first. And then we can get into maybe a couple of the books that's on his list as an extension, you know what I'm saying, stemming from this one. So what happened was I said, you know what? I needed to catch what was going on currently. So I pushed this one back. One of my younger homies had told me that, Nip Hustle, his birthday is on August 15th. I was like, oh, perfect. You know what I'm saying? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, which it was perfect for me for a few reasons. For one, with it would have been my second episode, I think that I've already gotten a lot better with even my note taking. And again, with this book being so all over the place, I don't know what I would have. I don't even know what I would have given you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely happy that this at least got to come like 4 or 5 episodes down the pike where I'm used to what I'm doing a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So I can give you a better give you some better info. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I probably would have been all over the place had this been my second episode. So uh with that being said, man, uh what I did at that time, I did a Janae episode because Janae is on tour. She's moving around. So I was like, perfect. I'm a big fan of hers. I put a nice mix down, tap into that, man. I got a 2-part episode on Janae. then keeping with that wave of trying to capture current things because I don't feel like it's always going to line up for what I'm trying to do here. For me, a book is going to be here as long as we are going to be on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, everything doesn't have to be in the current space, but when we have those opportunities to do things in the current space, we'll do them. For instance, I did the after Janae Common had just dropped his album with Pete Rock, Salute, you know what I'm saying? And it's called The Auditorium Volume 1. Tap into that. That's the album. The episode is up, you know what I'm saying? Part 1 and 2 because Common had dropped the album and he dropped a book earlier this year. So I was like, let me catch that. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, we did Ghostface Killer. You know what I'm saying? Because Ghost dropped the album as well as a book in May. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we did that. And then last week we did the episode on Viola Davis, in which her book has been out for a few years now. So, and coming right back here this week, this book has been out for a few years as well. But once again, when I caught wind that Nip birthday was on August 15th, I was like, that's perfect. Kind of gives me some time to really do what I wanted to do with this one. So again, now let's tap in. So again, this book covers so many different areas, and one of the beautiful things I like about it is that you get a whole lot of knowledge on Los Angeles gang culture, Los Angeles police, just a bunch of different things about Los Angeles. But let's tap into Nip though. Nip is black and Eritrean descent. You know what I'm saying? His pops is from Eritrea. You know what I'm saying? Who was a like a political refugee and came over here. You feel me? So his mom's is from Mississippi, and they end up end up being born and raised in California. You know what I'm saying? In L.A. in particular, the South Central area. You know what I'm saying? So you get a lot of good insight and information on uh, South Central Los Angeles. And one of the interesting things off the top was the name of South Central. I always thought that that was an interesting title because nowhere else in no other city would they call it the South Central. And one of the reasons was that because no one black was to live north of Slauson. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when you are south of Slauson, uh, that makes it South Central. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that that was a pretty interesting thing to learn there. But growing up, Nip was always a smart young man from, you know what I'm saying, from day one. It was him and his brother, Big Sam, who was like 3 years older than he was, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? And with them both being of the same parents and things like that, there. Interesting kid, you know what I'm saying? Very smart. Started rapping early age. It's one of his first rap name was Concept, and if you could believe it, he was a conscious rapper to start with. You know what I'm saying? So he, which is another interesting thing I found about Nip in this book is that growing up, I guess there was an innocence, and you know what I'm saying. Again, with him just being a smart man, smart young man, he his brother speaks on him building a computer. You know what I'm saying, and that joint was actually functioning and working, and all of this good stuff here. So he built his own computer. He was into a lot of different things around the age of 11. He's moving around. He's trying to get jobs. You know what I'm saying, because he didn't like moms couldn't afford everything like that. So it was like one of the last times that he had asked her to, get some school shopping done, and she couldn't get much. And just said after that he was gonna make sure he had what he had. So one of the funny things is sometimes like like in the last book, I said, sometimes you'd think you in the 1900s or 1800s or something with some of the things that happened to people. And with him, his first job, he was a shoe shiner, if you can believe that. I'm like, that's crazy. Yes. So his first job, he was a shoe shiner, and he was a hustler. From there, you know what I'm saying? Taking shoe shine money, buying candy, flipping candy, and different things like that. His brother, Big Sam, also was a hustler, and I think that rubbed off on Nip on how to get paper. You know what I'm saying? They would uh, be out doing things and need to get money, and Nipsey would come up with these quick ways to get his money where everybody else have been working all day long, stuff like that. So he had always smart and uh, uh, about his money and about his grind. You know what I'm saying? So moving along, man, even early on in his career, before he really blew, actually, when he was still going under the name Concept, uh, by chance, he ends up linking up with a Afeni Shakur. And the funny thing about that is that happened when I was here, and I was not far from where that was at. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I forget how they crossed paths, but she had him come to Atlanta to perform when they released the album, the late posthumous album by Tupac called "Better Days," and I remember that. I remember the album release. I was right here. Those were my early years of me being here. I lived like 5 minutes away from that Tupac Center that would have taken place at. You know what I'm saying? Which was I found to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But again, at that time, he was still under the name Concept, and so he was early on down here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Mixing and mingling. He would stay down here for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I found that to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? He got cool with some Atlanta rappers and different things like that. So he got cool with the music scene. Was taken in the music scene here as well. Nip has always liked music from wherever. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just have to always have been West Coast or Los Angeles music. He was a heavy fan of Jay Z. All the different types of artists from different areas. You know what I'm saying? So that was always a thing with him. So moving along, man, he decides to go 10 toes down with the rap, but along the way from him being, like a good kid, smart kid, the Los Angeles is going to Los Angeles. South Central is going to South Central. And what I mean by that is the gang culture there is heavy. So at some point, he just decided to throw his 2 feet in and became a crip. You know what I'm saying? And all of the things that comes along with that. You know what I'm saying? While at the same time over here trying to pop everything off and become an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the best way to explain it is that he, how can I explain? I'm not. I'm from a smaller city, right? I'm from Rockford, Illinois, right? So now Chicago up the road, an hour from me. Maybe you have these types of situations that like Nip and others who just really seem to be really good and bright and all these different things, but they end up being 10 toes down in gang culture. You know what I'm saying? I can't relate to it because I never, it wasn't that heavy to where I had to be something. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing for me is that when I got of like into my teens, that's when I started to realize that, oh, I know of gangsters and vice lords, but over here, Southside, this is all it's supposed to be the GDs, and West Side, it just all started to click when I was moving around later that the people you hanging with, they gangsters. And then the people you cool with over there, they vice lords. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, I didn't know. We just all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? But it's different in different places. So again, he 10 toes with that and all of the things that come along with that. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that comes along with the being in a gang, you know what I'm saying? The violence, Um, just a lot that came with that. You know what I'm saying? But he held it down. He never shied away from letting someone know that's what it was. But at the same time, he had a hell of a mental state, man. He was very intelligent. So every time he opened his mouth, you actually kind of forget it. This concludes part one of this episode of LPs and Books. Tap in for part two, the link below.